حديث الحجر والشجر هو حديث صحيح عن الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم: لا تقوم الساعة حتى يقاتل المسلمون اليهود فيقتلهم المسلمون حتى يختبئ اليهودي من وراء الشجر والحجر، فيقول الشجر يا مسلم، والحجر يا مسلم يا عبد الله، هذا يهودي خلفي تعالى فاقتله إلا شجر الغرقد. طبعا هذا بدلنا على أن المعركة الفاصلة والحاسمة ستكون على ضفاف نهر الأردن، وهي من الأرض المباركة. ولو استعرضنا المعارك الفاصلة على مدى التاريخ لوجدنا أن معظم المعارك الفاصلة كانت على ضفاف نهر الأردن، من اليرموك إلى عين جالوت إلى حطين، كلها على ضفاف نهر الأردن. والمعركة الفاصلة بينه وبين اليهود ستكون على نهر الأردن إن شاء الله تعالى، لا بد من ذلك. وهذا هو حديث الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم الذي لا ينطق عن الهوى إن هو إلا وحي يوحى.
وأشارت أشار
نعم.
سياق الحديث أيضا إلى نتيجة المعركة،
إلى نتيجة معركة طبعا، حتى يختبئ اليهودي، لأن اليهود كما نعلم لا يقاتلون إلا من وراء جدر إلا وهم مختبئون، لا يقاتلون عيانا مقابلة. فلذلك الشجر سيتكلم والحجر سينطق ويتكلم.
نعم. ولفظ الحديث فيقتلهم المسلمون.
نعم،
إذن فيه انتصار
للمسلمين والهزيمة أساسا كل اليهود إن شاء الله تعالى، وما ذلك على الله بعزيز. فلذلك هذه المعركة قائمة، وهذه المعركة لا بد منها، وحتى وإن ذهبنا إلى أوسلو وإلى لا بد أن المعركة أن تقوم، وهم يعلمون بذلك. لتكثرون من سراعة شجر الغرقد، يعلمون هذا الحديث،
يسيجون مستوطناتهم
بشجر الغرقد.
سبحان الله.
نعم.
الشيء الحقيقي في هذه الجزئية
هم يعلمون ذلك شيخ علي.
نعم.
يعلمون ذلك.
كان يقول كيف شجر الحجر يعني يتكلم؟ يعني معنى انه يعني ان نحاربهم بالحجر، نحاربهم بالعصي، هذا مو حكي، مو صحيح. احنا اما ان نحمل الكلام على الحقيقة او المجاز. اذا تعذرت الحقيقة يوصل للمجاز، ما دام الحقيقة غير متعذرة. طيب يا اخواننا، الان الرسول اخبرنا عن زمن يتكلم فيه الانسان من عذبة صوته، التليفون الخلوي
سبحان الله
اللاسلكي.
نعم.
طيب هو اللاسلكي منين هو؟ من الارض. بلاستيك من البترول، واسلاك حديد ونحاس منين؟ من الارض. فاذا وفي عندك كمان ايضا جزء من اجهزة الاتصالات الان مصنوعة من الخشب ايضا. ان يتكلم الشجر الحجر لا يمنع من أن يطلق على الأجهزة العلمية المتطورة الآن التي تنبئك عن الأشخاص. يعني الآن عندك مثلا محطات إنذار مبكر في سيناء، إنذار مبكر مثلا الآن موجودة في الجولان مثلا على سبيل المثال، هي التي تعطي بني إسرائيل تحركات المقابلين.
طب سيدي، هذا إذا أولناها مجازا، ولكن ألا يمكن أن يتكلم الشجر والحجر على الحقيقة؟ الشجر بذاته والحجر بذاته.
يا سيدي الآن ثبت أيضا علميا أن الشجر له لغة والحجر له لغة، بس إحنا ما عندنا القدرة أن نخترع الأجهزة التي تنقل إلينا صوت الشجر وصوت الحجر. الآن تقدم الناحية العلمية، فصار في أجهزة يحطوها في الحدائق، فالنبتة تصدر موجات معينة، الجهاز يستقبلها، بتقول النبتة هذا عطشان سقوني
يا سيدي.
مريض.
We will not allow any one of these violent medievalist forces to threaten our country and threaten our people.
Syrian seeking refuge today, we should see the Jewish refugee of World War II. During World War II, German and Italian residents were detained, and in one of the darkest chapters in our history, Japanese immigrants and even Japanese American citizens were forced from their homes and imprisoned in camps. We succumbed to fear. We betrayed not only our fellow Americans, but our deepest values. We betrayed these documents. It's happened before. And the biggest irony, of course, is that those who betrayed these values were themselves the children of immigrants. How quickly we forget. One generation passes, two generations passes, and suddenly we don't remember where we came from. And we suggest that somehow there is us and there is them, not remembering we used to be them. On days like today, we need to resolve never to repeat mistakes like that again.
Insofar as the Palestinian-Israeli conflict is concerned, I think there is another misunderstanding. People have long said that the core of this conflict is the acquisition of territories by Israel in the 1967 war. That's an issue that needs to be addressed in any peace process, as is the question of settlements. But it's not the core of the conflict. In Gaza, nothing changed. In fact, instead of getting peace, we gave territory and got 15,000 rockets on our heads. We took out all the settlements. We disinterred people from their graves. And did we get peace? No. We got the worst terror possible. I think that happened earlier too, when we left Lebanon, and people said, well, if you leave Lebanon, then Hezbollah will make peace with you. And in fact, we got 15,000 rockets from there too. And so people are naturally saying, look, if we want a solution vis-a-vis the Palestinians in Judea, Samaria, and the West Bank, how can we ensure that this doesn't happen again? Well, in order for us to ensure that it doesn't happen again, we have to address the root cause of the problem. Why has this conflict not been resolved for 100 years? Why has it not been resolved after successive Israeli prime ministers, 6 in fact, after the Oslo Agreement, have offered to make peace, have offered the Palestinians the possibility of building a state next to Israel? It's because the Palestinians have not yet been willing to cross that conceptual bridge, that emotional bridge of giving up the dream, not of a state next to Israel, but a state instead of Israel. And that's why they persistently refuse, not only Hamas in Gaza, but the PA. They consistently refuse to accept that in a final peace settlement, they will recognize the Jewish state. They will recognize a nation state for the Jewish people. They ask that we recognize a nation state for the Palestinian people, but refuse to accord that same right to us. I have said, and I continue to say, that ultimately the only workable solution is not a unitary state, but a demilitarized Palestinian state that recognizes the Jewish state. That's the solution. But the Palestinians have to recognize the Jewish state, and they persistently refuse to do so. They refuse to recognize a nation state for the Jewish people in any boundary. That was and remains the core of the conflict. The terrorists are attacking in California or in Israel, or for that matter in Paris. They're attacking the very values that we hold dear: freedom, tolerance, diversity, all the things that define the value of life and society in our eyes. They find anathema, and that's why they attack us. I think too that this is what makes us strong. They think that we are hedonistic and weak. We're actually very strong societies, very resilient, because of the very values that they despise so much. And these values are what makes the bond between Israel and the United States, the American people and the people of Israel, so strong. It's that identity of values, those very values that are under such fierce attack today. I think nobody should underestimate the resilience and power of our societies.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace to you all. My name is Saba Ahmed. I'm a law student at American University. I am here to ask you a simple question. I know that we portray Islam and all Muslims as bad, but there's 1.8 billion Muslim followers of Islam. We have 8 million plus Muslim Americans in this country, and I don't see them represented here. But my question is, how can we fight an ideological war with weapons? How can we ever end this war? The jihadist ideology that you talk about, it's an ideology. How can you ever win this thing if you don't address it ideologically?
Great question. I am so glad you're here, and I am so glad you brought that up because it gives us an opportunity to answer. What I find so amazing is since the beginning of this panel, which we are here about Benghazi attack against our people, not one person mentioned Muslims. We are here against Islam, or we're launching war against Muslims. We are here to discuss how 4 Americans died and what our government is doing. We were not here to bash Muslims. You were the one who brought up the issue about most Muslims, not us. And since you brought it up, allow me to elaborate with my answer. There are 1.2 billion Muslims in the world today. Of course, not all of them are radicals. The majority of them are peaceful people. The radicals are estimated to be between 15 to 25%, according to all intelligence services around the world. That leaves 75% of them peaceful people. But when you look at 15 to 25% of the world Muslim population, you're looking at 180 million to 300 million people dedicated to the destruction of Western civilization. That is as big as the United States. So why should we worry about the radicals, 15 to 25%? Because it is the radicals that kill. Because it is the radicals that behead and massacre. When you look throughout history, when you look at all the lessons of history, most Germans were peaceful. Yet the Nazis drove the agenda. And as a result, 60 million people died. Almost 14 million in concentration camps. 6 million were Jews. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. When you look at Russia, most Russians were peaceful as well. Yet the Russians were able to kill 20 million people. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. When you look at China, for example, most Chinese were peaceful as well. Yet the Chinese were able to kill 70 million people. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. When you look at Japan prior to World War II, most Japanese were peaceful as well. Yet Japan was able to butcher its way across Southeast Asia, killing 12 million people, mostly killed with bayonets and shovels. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. On September 11th in the United States, we had 2.3 million Arab Muslims living in the United States. It took 19 hijackers, 19 radicals to bring America down to its knees, destroy the World Trade Center, attack the Pentagon, and kill almost 3,000 Americans that day. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. So for all our powers of reasons and us talking about moderate and peaceful Muslims, I'm glad you're here. But where are the others speaking out? And since you are the only Muslim representative, applause till the end. Thank you. And since you're the only Muslim representative in here, you took the limelight instead of speaking about why our government, and I assume, are you an American? You're an American citizen. So as an American citizen, you sat in this room and instead of standing up and saying a question or asking something about our 4 Americans that died and what our government is doing to correct the problem, you stood there to make a point about peaceful, moderate Muslims. I wish you brought 10 with you to question about how we can hold our government responsible. It is time we take political correctness and throw it in the garbage where it belongs and start calling it